The happiest day of retirement is probably day one, or when you give your notice. But what about the most dangerous day of retirement? It's day 182, the moment when the money plan looks great, but the life plan starts to feel a little shaky. And there's a lot of research behind this. Studies show retirees often hit a dip in well-being 6 to 24 months after leaving work, not because they're broke, not because their plan failed, but because something unexpected happens. I planned my money. I never really planned my life. I've spent 20 plus years helping people avoid what I call the zone of regret. That painful stretch when you realize you could have traveled more, lived more, spent more, but you waited too long. So today, I'm going to show you how to make day 182 a breakthrough, not a breakdown. We're going to talk about what actually happens in those first 6 months, why identity collapses more than your bank account, and last but not least, a 3-step framework to design a retirement you'd actually choose again. With optimism, not anxiety, stay with me for this video. Part 1 is the honeymoon lie, 0 to 6 months. Let's start with what retirement usually looks like before day 182. Everyone pictures the honeymoon phase. You sleep in, you take the big trip, you remodel the kitchen, you finally fix that thing you've ignored for 20 years. And honestly, it feels great. I've had clients tell me I should have retired sooner. Friends might say, you're glowing. The spreadsheets say you're fine. The accounts are behaving. Your income streams have kicked in. You're checking off everything you've been waiting to do. But here's the trap. Most people think that feeling is retirement. If month 3 feels this good, imagine year 3. But research and real life say something completely different. The novels start blending together. That bend in the happiness curve, that's where day 182 lives. If you're already retired, what happened to day 182 for you? Let me know in the comments. I do read all of them, mostly because I have nothing better to do. Let's get to part 2. What actually happens on day 182? Is it literally day 182? Not exactly. I just chose that number because that's the window where the honeymoon typically ends according to research and experience, 6 to 24 months. Things still look fine. You're doing the right retirement things, but inside people start quietly feeling restless, like every day is Saturday, or disconnected. People realize that most of their relationships lived at work, as it were, or underutilized because no one needs you at 9 a.m. anymore, or anxious, not because of money, but because you're not sure what you're meant for. Here's a stat that surprised even me. A 2024 Mass Mutual Retirement Happiness Study, which I read so you wouldn't have to, found that 67% of retirees reported being happier in retirement, but 77% of people before retirement expected to be happier. And that gap tells us something important. The joy of retirement is real, but it's rarely as permanent or effortless as people imagine. A separate study published in the Journal of Financial Planning showed that retirees who drift into more passive activities, more TV, more time at home, less structure, reported lower happiness, largely because the things that used to provide routine, purpose, and community quietly disappear. So it isn't retirement itself that fails us, it's what we do with the time once we get there. I've seen this play out dozens of times. You fill out the first 6 months with those bucket list activities, the house projects, then the distractions dry up. You wake up one Tuesday and think, is this it for the next 20 or 30 years? And here's the kicker. Most retirement planning doesn't even address this sort of thing. We talk about assets. We don't talk about identity. We run Monte Carlo simulations to see if you're going to run out of money and ignore the human asking, who am I without work? That's the real risk of day 182. And make sure to stay with me because I have a 3-step framework created from listening to my clients navigate this time in their lives. It will help you. Part 3 is the identity gap no one prepared you for. So let's talk about why this happens, because once you understand it, you can plan for it. For 30 or 40 years, your identity was built around 3 pillars. So what you do, like I'm a doctor, I'm in HR, I manage logistics, and that title becomes shorthand for your competence, your value, your worth. Number 2, who you help. You serve customers, students, patients, teams, you matter. And number 3, where you go. That could be the office, the job site, the hospital, the store. Work gives structure without you ever noticing. And then retirement hits. And overnight, those 3 vanish. No title, No built-in role, no schedule, just empty space. And here's the heartbreaking truth. Most retirees don't miss the paycheck that much. They miss being useful. I know I had a client named Greg, 38 years as an engineer. He retired at 62, everything's set, the cabin, the golf membership, the travel plans. For 6 months, he told everyone, I should have done this sooner, this is amazing. Then one day he said something I'll never forget. He said, I don't miss work, I miss people needing me. He didn't miss meetings or deadlines, he missed impact, being the person others relied upon. So he started volunteering at a high school robotics club. And after helping a student fix a design, the kid looked at him and said, oh, now I get it. And Greg told me that one moment felt better than any hole-in-one. I'm joking. But he did say that comment was better than 10 rounds of golf. He didn't need a job. He needed a place where his experience still matters it. Because without it, the brain fills the vacuum with fear. Maybe I should spend less. Maybe I'll run out of money sooner than I expected. Maybe I shouldn't travel. I should start spending less. They're not worried about their portfolio values. They're worried about meaning. And this is especially brutal for high achievers, because if you spend decades solving problems, leading teams, getting things done, being told to relax and enjoy life isn't relaxing, it's threatening. Day 182 isn't a financial crisis, it's an identity crisis. The good news, identity isn't luck. It isn't something you hope appears. It's something you build, and you can build it the same way you built your money plan, with intention. So let's talk about that now. Part 4, the framework, identity, purpose, rhythm. This is a 3-part framework I use with my clients based on what I've noticed working with my clients. I just ask what's good and people start sharing. So I find this works whether you're 5 years away from retirement or already in it. The first part is identity. Who are you right now? Not who you were, who you're choosing to be. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for in this chapter? And that's not, I used to be a CFO, HR, I used to supervise nurses. That's your career obituary. We're writing your future resume. So pick 3 words for the next season: curious, present, generous, or builder, artist, mentor. And if this sounds abstract, here's why it matters. I had a client named Maria who retired after 30 years managing a hospital department. 6 months in, she told me, I don't know how to introduce myself anymore. So she wasn't depressed per se, she was just unanchored. So she started mentoring teens through a local nonprofit. 2 weeks later, I saw her again. She said, I'm not retired, I'm helping kids make fewer money mistakes. She didn't reinvent her past, she redefined her now. The thing is, your brain needs a job description. If you don't define it, retirement defaults to I'm retired. That's not an identity, that's not an HR status. Number 2 is purpose. Who benefits from you being alive? Well, this is one that nobody asks. Your career told you who you served: clients, patients, students, teams. Retirement widens that circle. It could be your grandkids, the version of you who actually shows up, your community, where your vision matters to other people, or younger professionals, mentoring, consulting, doing things that help bring those people along, or your spouse, rebuilding a relationship that's been in survival mode for many years. Here's an exercise you can do. List 3 to 5 people or groups who are genuinely better off because you're engaged in their lives. Then ask, how will I show up for them in a typical week? So what this does is it flips retirement from how do I fill my time to how do I deploy myself where I matter the most. And that shift alone brings people out of the day 182 dip. And the third thing is rhythm. What does a good week actually look like? This is where everything finally clicks, because freedom without structure feels amazing until every day starts to look the same. So you don't need a 9 to 5. You need a scaffolding, a gentle rhythm that gives shape to your days. Not a prison, just a starting point. Monday and Wednesday could be your workout, library, mentoring. Tuesday, grandkids, lunch with a friend. Thursday, volunteering or consulting. Friday, date night. Saturday, golf, painting, or that weird hobby only you understand. Sunday could be recharge, no guilt. You won't follow it perfectly. That's good. It's not a schedule, it's a backbone. It kills the drifting. It gives your days direction instead of reaction. And here's the magic. When your time has a purpose, your money finally gets a purpose too. That's when spending becomes joyful instead of fearful. Not can I afford it, but does it serve the life I'm building right now? Let's bring this home with part 5. We can go back to the beginning. The most dangerous, the saddest day of retirement isn't day 1. It's day 182 when the novelty fades, the calendar opens up, and you finally hear the question. You've been outrunning. Who am I without work? You can absolutely avoid that dip, not by obsessing over another decimal point in your portfolio, but by putting the same intention into your identity, who you are now, purpose, who you serve, and rhythm, how your week actually looks to you. Do this and retirement becomes a chapter you would choose again. If this hits home, if you're 5 to 10 years from retirement or already in it, tell me in the comments. I do read all of them. What will be the hardest to replace when you retire? That paycheck, the purpose, the people. And if you want a flat fee, no sales pitch retirement review, a securement review, where we pressure test not just your income plan, but your life plan, you know where to find me at theretirementguide.com. Thanks for watching.